Hello everyone, myself Vaishnavi Panerkar and my teammates are Darshan, Patil and Tejas Padwal. We are the students from final year B Pharmacy of Shivajirao S. Zondal College of Pharmacy, Asangaon. We have chosen and performed on a survey on generic drug as a project for our academics. Under the guidance of Mrs. Nehalata Mali, Assistant Professor of Shivajirao S. Zondal College of Pharmacy. This presentation includes the following content elaborating our project over the survey. The content is objective, what is generic, what is branded medicine and what is generic medicine. Other definitions of generic medicine by WHO, FDA, EMA. Then comparison between generic and brand name drug. Approval requirement of generic drug, need of generic drug, advantages, disadvantages of generic medicine, then regulation of generics, then reason behind the unpopularity of the generic drugs in India, then cost and quality of generic medicine, availability of the generic drugs in Indian market, sampling design and research analysis. The reason why we chosen this topic and our objective behind the survey was to study the awareness of a generic drug amongst doctor, chemist and general public, to understand the perception of doctors, chemists and general public towards generic drug and their prescription patterns of generic drug, to carry out a comparative analysis of generic drug and branded drugs. So now, what is generic? When chemical medicines are firstly developed and approved, they are sold by the pharmaceutical company under their brand name. And once the protection of the product expires, for example, patents or regulatory protection such as a data exclusivity, the company no longer has exclusive rights to sell these medicine. Other companies can then apply to the manufacturer and sell a comparable medicine with the same active pharmaceutical ingredient. This version is often referred to as their generic. The original medicine and the generic medicine will have different brand names, appearance, and packaging, but contain the same active ingredient. Essentially, they can be considered the same medicine. This could cause confusion were it not for the generic name, which is shared by all brand of the medicine. Example of such names are well known for the pain medication. For instance, active ingredients such as paracetamol and ibuprofen are used as the basis for many painkillers that can be bought in the pharmacies. Now, what is branded medicine? So, these drugs also called as a innovator drug that is invented by the pharmaceutical companies to prevent them from the being by other companies. Branded medicines are the patent protected and trade name is marketed under unique proprietary name given by this company. Now, what is generic medicine? A generic medicinal product is defined as their medicinal product that has the same composition, means qualitatively and quantitatively in active substances as the original with the reference medicinal product. Then the same pharmaceutical form. Example, tablet, syrup, inhaler as a reference medicinal product. Means the branded medicine are is in form of the tablet. Then generic medicine is also formed in the tablet. It has been shown to interact with the body in a similar manner to the reference medicinal product. Then generic medicine are chemically there is a no difference between their original branded medicine and generic medicine. As with all medicine, generic must comply with the appropriate regulatory approval process, assessing and ensuring quality, safety, and also efficacy. Approved generics are regulated in the same way that the original medicines are regulated. Now, other definitions given by the WHO, FDA, and EMA. WHO means World Health Organization defined the generic drug as to mean the pharmaceutical product that is usually intended to be interchangeable with an innovator product, is manufactured without a license from the innovator company and is the marketed after the expiry date of the patent or other exclusive rights. Then US Food and Drug Administration means FDA defines generic as a drug product that is comparable to the brand and reference listed drug product in a dosage form, strength, route of administration, quality and performance characteristics and intended use. Then the European Medicine Agency EMA definition given as a generic medicine is a medicine that is developed to be the same as the medicine that has already been authorized. And a generic medicine contains the same active substances as the reference medicine and it is used at the same doses to treat the same disease as the reference medicine. Now further explanation, I hand over to Darshan Patil.
So now we will compare the generic and brand name drugs. There are certain similarities and dissimilarities between them. Now, firstly we will see the commons between the both. Both generic and brand name drugs contain the same active ingredient. They have the same dosage strength, like if the generic one have 20 mg strength, then the brand one is also available in the 20 mg unit. Both of them are available in the same dosage form. They have the same route of administration. They even deliver the similar amount of drug into the bloodstream. Now, the points where generic and brand medicines differ are they could have different size, shapes, or colors. They might have different inactive ingredients, and the major difference is the costing. Generics are much less expensive than the brand name drugs. Now, the reason behind the price differences lies behind the process of the drug development. Like the NDA, that is a new drug application for brand name drugs, requires a study of the labeling, pharma market, chemistry of the drug, manufacturing, control of the quality, microbiology data, testing, animal studies, clinical studies, and bioavailability. Whereas the ANDA, that is the abbreviated new drug application for generics, require the same studies like labeling, pharma market, chemistry of the drug, manufacturing data, controls of the quality, microbiology data, and testing. The process of an animal, clinical, and bioavailability studies is avoided or skipped as it has already been performed in the NDA process to lower the product cost. So now, how is the generic drug quality assured? First, 7 steps of the review process are identical to the NDA process, and the bioequivalence requirements for ANDAs are as same as that of the NDAs. FDA has experience with the product as it is just abbreviated form of the brand drug. Then, the product is known to be safe according to the studies, and the scientific literature has been published for the formulation. Further, post-approval product surveys are done to assure the quality. But what is the need of the generic drug? Due to the high cost of the medicine, the need for generic medicine arises. Generic medicines cost very little as compared to the brand medicines because the generic medicine manufacturers do not have to bear the cost of making a new medicine from scratch, and they even save on marketing. This makes generic medicines price 30% to 70% less than brand medicines. And for those who doubt the reliability of the generic medicines, FDA monitors manufacturing of these medicines closely and passes them for prescription use only after lab testing. It is safe to use generic medicine just like any other branded medicines. So, what might be the advantages of the generic medicines? Generic drugs are accessible to the poor. These medicines are money saver. Duplicate drugs are reliable substitute to the brand name drugs. They are cost efficient for the healthcare system. Also, generic drugs are easy to manufacture. Disadvantages of generic medicines. There are certain drawbacks of generics which include the cost-raised suspicion among the patients. High difference in the price creates a trust issue in the patients or the consumers' minds. Also, there are certain misconceptions and doubts about the generics which leads to certain myths about the efficacy and quality of the generics. Generic medicine appear different than the brand name drugs in terms of the color, shape or package. Also, the customers are hard to convince. Patients perceive them as the inferior to the brand drugs. Now we will see how generics are regulated. Generic medicines are regulated in the same way as the original medicines. The generic company does not need to demonstrate non-clinical or clinical test results for their products before obtaining a marketing authorization. The generic medicine is tested to show that it produces the same levels of the active substances in the body as the original medicine before obtaining a marketing authorization. Manufacturing facilities and condition must be of a very high standard. Following approval of a generic medicine, the company producing it must commit to the collection of the reporting of additional post-marketing safety data. Thus, generics also have the same regulatory demand as that of the brand name drugs. Hereon, My teammate Tejas will take over to explain further information.
The reason behind the unpopularity of the generic drug in India. In India, people are influenced by the brand name of the product. People think branded products are more has more quality than the generic drugs. And next is a lack of awareness about the generic drug. The cost and quality of generic medicines. The key benefit of the generics and the reason why they are preferred by the many patients, doctors and hospitals as they offer the very less cost than the original medicines because of their competitively low cost. The equality of the generic medicines and the original medicines often been questioned by the patient. The generic medicines have the less cost than the original medicines because of the cost of the research and development has been covered by the companies that marketed the original medicines. However, the generic medicines are manufactured according to the same quality standards as the other medicines are done. As you can see the chart, the generic medicines are and branded medicines are done by the are prepared by the same using the same quality standards. Availability of the generic drugs in the Indian market. The availability of the generic drug in the Indian market is very low. It is only supplied to the government and other hospital or physician's dispensary only. Generally, branded drugs are promoted to doctor for more profits, and branded drugs are sold on a maximum retail price only. But distributor buys them at a 10 to 15% discount of MRP rate. In the present situation, consumer, the patients are not benefited and retail chemists are on huge profits. Sampling designing. We did our research by the survey method. Our research tool is questionnaire containing open as well as closed-ended question. Data collection method was the online survey method. We use the Google form there. Our research region is Thane rural, which includes Kalyan, Murbad, and Shahpur region. Duration of the research is 3 months. Duration of the data collection is 5 weeks. And we did a survey on 20 chemists and 100 number of general public. Sampling technique is a random sampling and data analysis is done by the MS Excel. We did a survey on chemists. We give them a form to fill and the form contains the 14 questions about generic medicines. What they think about generic medicines is given in the form and the form is shown in the video. Research analysis. We did a survey on general public about generic medicines and some sort out questions are following. First question, do you know about generic drugs or medicines? 87.4% of people knows about generic medicines, whereas 8.4% people doesn't know about what is generic medicines. Next question, is there any pharmacy for generic medicines in your locality? Again, 87% of people have the pharmacy which sells generic medicines, and 8.4 people percent of people doesn't have the pharmacy in their locality which sells generic medicines. And third and important question is that why do you think generic medicine have a low prices? Here, 33.3% of people thinks because of the low quality. 22.2% of people think packaging is not good. 21.1% of people think not good in appearance. 31.1% think there is a mixing of adulteration. 18.9% of people think less investment in the marketing and supply chain. And 11.1% of people think less investment in the R&D. This can be a reasons of the unpopularity of the generic medicine in our society. According to about data, we can say that the awareness of a generic drug or medicines is less in our society. The awareness should be done about generic drug. The awareness can be done using advertisement, awareness program in school and colleges, and awareness can be done by the advertising on the social media. So this was our survey project regarding to awareness of generic medicines in our society. We hope that the video was informational for you. We are thankful to Mr. Shivajirao Jonre, the President of Shivajirao Jonre Knowledge City, Ms. Geeta Khare ma'am, Secretary of Shivajirao Jonre Knowledge City, and our Principal, Mr. Nitin Mohere sir. Thank you.